Welcome to Comic-Con,
where once a year, sci-fi buffs take their lips off the barrel of a loaded gun and spend half a day adjusting their eyes to sunlight.
You want to see a comic book with pregnant zombie nuns?
You psychotic nerd!
Dude, what a bunch of freaking nerdos.
Good to see I'm white and nerdy. Look at me, I'm white and nerdy.
I'm a nerd too.
Your personality needs some work.
You're not part of the popular clique.
But I was kind of a lonely nerd in high school.
I started a quilt. I did yoga twice a week. I wore flip-flops in public.
I like to roll with the gangsters. Although it's apparent I'm too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy. Look at me, I'm white and nerdy.
You're nervous. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Well, welcome to the nerd side. Well, it's a side of us that we all seem to have. Everyone, no matter how cool you are, you're kind of a geek in some way or fashion. It just happens to everybody. Hey, I'm Fonseca. Welcome to the show. We got a lot of stuff to do. I got Mike, who is a guest host with me today. Mike Matthews. How are we doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great. Hey, I am a nerd inside of me as well. That was a bad handoff to, I'm not used to being handed off to, so
why?
It's sad because I don't interact with, I'm always in a cave.
Hey, today on the show, we're going to be talking about the new Aquaman, new Chris Pratt, Indiana Jones. This sounds interesting. And of course, our guest today will be Larry Kenny. He'll be calling in, aka, if you don't know who he is, he's Lion-O from Thundercats. He'll be calling on the show momentarily. But first off, you're going to have some stuff about Doctor Who. I know nothing of Doctor Who. But you do. What? Give me the whole thing. Why do people like Doctor Who, Mike? Why?
It's weird because it's a show that's lasted all these years. It started, the 50-year anniversary was last year? The year before, 63, it started. The year Kennedy was assassinated. And we're on Dr. Peter Capaldi is the latest Doctor. He's the 12th one.
And if the rating's that good, you follow probably Aquaman, sorry. You probably follow Doctor Who. If the rating's that big and
I think Doctor Who should merge with Aquaman and become a Time Lord. What is Aquaman? He's considered
he's Atlantean. He's king of the seas.
Atlanta, Georgia.
Why I'm going to get this wrong? Someone's going to email me. Dude, that is so wrong. He has a Triton and he's a prince of the seas or something like that. He's a king. So, Doctor Who.
Yeah, so what happened was Matt Smith wanted to leave, and they did this. And Matt Smith, the past couple Doctors, I know you watched the David Tennant years.
Yes, I did used to watch Doctor Who, but I watched Doctor Who back the 70s.
Oh.
Those were the 70s episodes.
Tom Baker.
Yes. And I watched them in the 80s because that's the only thing that PBS would play.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I got into it like that, and I was like, wow, this thing is really, really cool. The dude with the long scarf.
Right.
I was so into it. Then he died. I remember he fell down and some new guy got up. But do you remember when he fell and died? And then the other guy got up and he goes, I'm the doctor. The new guy took over.
Peter Davidson.
But the only way to watch the episodes back then was all of a sudden the show ended. And then PBS came on and goes, hello, if you would like to continue with the Doctor Who, we need a donation from you. And I'm only like 12 years old, and I'm like, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. There was no Netflix. There was no cable that you can watch the BBC on. And there was, you didn't have that stuff. And VCRs were just starting to come in, and I'm not going to pay $3,000 for a VCR.
Right.
So I didn't have the luxuries that you did to start it later on. So I just gave it up.
And it's funny, Aaron, because I watched it on a really remote channel. It was like channel 55 in Los Angeles. And it was like you had to...
Is that like a PBS?
What was it? UHF?
VHF. Yeah.
Was that right? And then you had to go all the way into these bizarre channels, and they were all snowy. And then I found Doctor Who that way, and I'm like, what? He travels around in a police box? I don't get the...
Well, my sister was really into it. My older used to tell me he drives a tartar. And I'm like, he's retarded? She goes, no, a tartar. I'm like, tartar sauce? I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And then I got into it. And I was this is when I was first watching it with her. She goes, you got to watch this. And he's walking to this little police box, and the thing's freaking huge inside. I'm like, what the hell is this?
TARDIS. It's a trans something dimensional in space and time. I got that completely wrong, but yeah, it's big inside. Sometimes he's had to eject different rooms in order to keep going, and whatever. His big foe is the Daleks, the exterminate, and then
the robots. Yeah. So, what is the latest thing that's happening with Doctor Who now?
So Peter Capaldi is like he's about as old as the very first Doctor was. And he actually was in a punk rock band with Craig Ferguson way back when. And they did a lot of... Craig Ferguson always says, I dropped a lot of acid with it, Peter Capaldi. And so they kind of have the Scottish accent, and that was my Scottish accent. I hope you enjoyed it.
That sounded pretty good. So they dropped acid
Sounds
together?
like
Is
fat
that
bastard.
So in order to get onto Doctor Who, you
Oh,
have
yeah.
to drop acid?
No. Peter Capaldi had a great big show in England, a bunch of shows. He was also on the Musketeers reboot that they did recently. He was a villain on that.
Yeah.
And Stephen Moffat, who does Doctor Who, he just wanted Peter. He always wanted Peter on the show. Peter was a fan of Doctor Who when he was a kid. And he was actually offered the part to be Doctor Who when they did... did you ever see the movie they did? It was on Fox. Fox when it was just starting out in the late 80s, early 90s.
My mom let me watch Fox because I'm married with children.
Isn't that funny? And then a lot of parents were all upset about The Simpsons. Oh, Bart's going to make kids talk like that to their parents.
All right. So what's happened to Doctor Who?
Well, BBC was like, we're making a movie, and if this movie does really well, we'll reboot the show. And they had Paul McGann play the Doctor. And they kind of went with kind of retro-y back to Tom Baker because Paul had kind of curly hair, but he was a young, good-looking guy.
Yeah.
And they, used all the special effects that they had there. It takes place in San Francisco.
Oh my God!
So because of the crossover and America and all that, they said maybe this will be big on Fox. So Fox showed it and had horrible ratings. So they're like, oh, maybe we can't reboot this. And then they tried again in 2005.
And then what happened?
Then the ratings were great on BBC, and I guess they didn't put quite so much effort into America. BBC America was just starting out, I guess, and it got ratings, and it's sucking in a bunch of people.
How do you follow Doctor Who? I mean, don't you watch the other shows? I mean, I have so many problems. I mean, like, they're not problems, but I've got Tuesday nights. I got The Flash, which I don't miss.
Oh, great show.
Then Thursday I got Arrow. No, Wednesday night Arrow. I don't know. It's DVR'd. And I don't miss that because it ties into Flash. And then I got Agent Carter, Marvel's Agent Carter, which is on Tuesdays also, which I can't miss. Because that's going to tie into the new movie of Ant-Man because it's all tied in. There's all these Easter eggs. Because somebody from the 40s is somebody that's going to give Michael Douglas the suit to do something. You got to watch everything. Just like the Shield tied into Captain America. And then again, I got Sundays. I got The Walking Dead, which I will never miss. How do you there's so many goddamn shows.
I don't watch Walking Dead, but
my God.
I get caught up on all the Doctor Who's and
how do you not watch The Walking Dead?
I watch Sleepy Hollow. That's got a lot of undead people in it.
I'm done with that.
You don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't know. All
Ichabod.
right, here's the next question for you. Okay, it's happening. They said pretty sure it's 99.9% it's going to happen. New Indiana Jones. It's going to be produced and made by Disney, of course. The new Indiana Jones is going to be Chris Pratt. Yes or no?
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll work. He'll add the, kind of a comedic spin to it. He doesn't have the growl that Harrison Ford does. I'm afraid of snakes. Hate snakes.
But he's funny and still kind of cute, good-looking.
Good-looking guy, Harrison Ford, is going to be completely phased out then, I guess?
That's what they said. But on a recent article I read, it's Steven Spielberg asked the studios, he said, I want to have another chance at directing it, though. I want to direct it. I think he's too old to direct.
Really? What's the last thing he did? Lincoln? Did he do it? I can't think
Well,
of
he
it.
did the last Indiana Jones.
Right.
And it was pretty bad.
Which you have a huge poster of.
Well, I just like Indiana Jones, that's why. But
you have what's that? The Idol. That's the original Idol from the very first, not the original, but
hanging in my studio to my left is the Indiana Jones Idol that he went into the cave to get in the Inca ones. And they went, whoosh, whoosh, we're doing that, like that.
Yeah, with the guy that later played Dr. Octo Spider-Man.
Dr. Octavius.
Octavius.
Yes, he did. Hold that thought for a second, Mike. We got the phone line's ringing. I think we got our first guest. On the phone line right now, we got Larry Kenny, most known for the lead character in Thundercats Lion-O and many other shows and commercial characters. Congratulations on that, Larry, and thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome, Aaron. And Mike, it's a pleasure to be with you.
It's Mike, too. Hi, Larry. It's awesome talking to you.
Oh, my God. I want to ask you a quick question, and everybody knows you for, doing Lion-O and Thundercats. Do you like that whole thing behind
sure.
it? Okay.
Oh, of course. I mean, who wouldn't like that, when you're an actor, I mean, that's why you become an actor.
Yeah.
So people will like you. We want people to say, actors are like, look at me, look what I can do. No, it's wonderful, especially because Thundercats was such a great show. I mean, just such a, not only was it, I think a great entertainment, but for a lot of other reasons, the show meant so much to so many people for a lot of reasons. I mean, over the years, I've gotten email from people who tell me that, maybe their childhood was not that great, and sometimes they tell me in more graphic detail, but they say that when they could go in their room and watch Thundercats in the afternoon after school, it made them feel better, and that means a lot to me. I have a very strong sense of proprietorship over the not that I own it, of course, but I've always been very protective of anytime I've been asked to do something as Lion-O or related to Thundercats. I always scrutinize the script very carefully and everything. I would never do anything to denigrate the legend that is Thundercats and what it means to people.
Larry, when I hear your voice, I want to eat something because not only was that after school that show was on and I would have my after school snack, but you're the voice of so many breakfast cereal characters too.
Wait a minute, I'm still recovering. I've never had anybody in my life say that when they hear me they want to eat something. I like that.
Look at that. All right.
Yeah.
It's the first time.
Maybe you could have a bowl of Count Choculates. It's quite delicious.
Wait a minute. How about some Cocoa Puffs? They're better for you.
So how many times do people actually do that? Go, hey, can you do the voice? I mean, doesn't it get on your nerves after a while, or no?
No, it's great. I always laugh at people who are in show business who bitch and moan about the lack of privacy and having to have your picture taken and all that. Well, you know what? Get a different job. I mean, we're lucky to be in this business, and I mean, first of all, there's no heavy lifting. And especially when you're a voice actor like me, you don't have to get dressed up all the time. I can work in blue jeans and Bermuda shorts in the summer.
Yes, and I'm sitting in my underwear right now as we speak.
Oh, I wish you hadn't told me that.
And Mike doesn't. The funny part is it doesn't seem to bother Mike in one bit. That's the weird thing.
Oh my gosh, you don't have any clothes on. I just realized that. Wow, I just some underwear.
All right.
Listen, I really have fun. This has been fun. Thank you.
No, but seriously, now radio. Wow.
Yeah.
You started at 50,
I started in radio.
15 years old. 15 years old.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was in 1911. I started. And no, it was in 1963.
Yeah.
In Peoria, Illinois.
Yeah.
I started in radio, and I've been in radio up until about 7 years ago. I was with Imus in the Morning. I don't know if you guys ever saw that show.
Yes, we were everybody knows who Imus is.
Yeah, well, I was with him for 35 years.
Wow.
The first 20 or 22 of it just on radio every morning, Monday through Friday, and then we went syndicated on MSNBC every morning, and it was basically a radio show on TV,
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of pulled back. 7 years ago, I decided that I was tired of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, so I left that show. But I still do radio commercials,
Yeah.
and TV commercials, but I don't do a regular radio show anymore. I miss it.
So how did it go from radio to getting the voiceovers? I mean, did it just...
Well, it was a natural progression for me because even when I first started in radio, I would do little voices on the radio show, impressions of people and little cartoon type voices. Believe it or not, I was a class clown when I was in school.
Get out of here!
Hard to believe. I know. I love thinking back to all the teachers and school principals and counselors various law enforcement officials in my life that used to say to me, you know, Larry, I hope when you grow up you find a way to make a living from your little jokes and funny voices.
Yeah, I remember you were at WonderCon, and I'm sitting out there, and you're talking about they were reliving and redoing the new Thundercats cartoon on Cartoon Network, and you came back as Lion-O's dad. And I remember you right in the middle of the audience, and my kids are sitting right there, and I'm like, I love this guy. This is what you said.